is February 17th, 2022. I have decided to get the vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery. It's a bariatric surgery for weight loss. And my understanding is that they cut off in a laparoscopic procedure about 75 to 80% of the stomach. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I came to the decision to get the surgery, such a serious um, decision and a big kind of change in my life. So um, I've always been I think since probably high school, like somewhat overweight, but you know, like I've been able to kind of lose weight, like with Weight Watchers. That's pretty much been like the most successful thing for me. But the problem is like it hasn't been like something that I've been able to maintain. Then after having my second daughter, or my second child, she I basically like was weighing like she's 3 now, and after her being born 3 years ago, I'm actually weighing more than what I weighed when I was fully pregnant with her. So, of course, I was concerned about that. I recently, my parents, I recently found out that they were diagnosed with diabetes. Um, and I've just seen like kind of how their health has been affected a lot by their weight. And um, so I decided that, like, I had kind of thought about it in years past, but in about October, I decided like I was going to seriously look into it and see if it would even be an option for me, like with my insurance, if I would qualify, if I would be a good candidate. And so I went ahead and just started the process. I went straight to a surgeon that was covered by my insurance, and basically he said, "Yeah, like your BMI fits within the criteria, and so we just need to go through the process of completing your insurance requirements, and then you'll be able to go ahead with the surgery." So, what basically for him put me in the criteria was that my BMI was 43, and so that is in the category that qualifies me for this weight loss surgery. I So I went through. Let's see, I had to do a psych eval. I paid up front for that. That was around $300, $350. I had to do some like kind of like dietitian appointments where they just kind of had me set some goals and see if I would follow through with them. I also had 4 appointments with physical trainer. I think it was like basically 4 months of it was about a few months, like 4 weeks of that actually. That's what it was, and that went really well. Like I feel like they were just kind of like, we just have to do this for the insurance. Like they were kind of moving in the direction of, yeah, like you're getting the surgery. So let's see, I think early December, I had all the requirements completed, including like some lab work and those appointments, meeting with the PA, meeting with the surgeon, and we submitted everything to insurance. Well, the facility did, and it actually came back. They denied the pre-authorization because the clinic documented some of the session or some of the appointments as being um, over the phone, even though they were in person. And so, of course, like I was pretty irritated about that with all the work that had gone into it. But we were able to appeal. The clinic was able to say actually these were in person. Um, and by, I want to say, the second week of January, I'd gotten a letter from the insurance that they did approve my appeal, meaning that I was pre-authorized for the vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery, the VSG. So I was super excited about that. Like, oh my gosh, okay, like I've been waiting for this. Like, let's get this stuff going. And actually, like when everything was approved, I called the clinic and I was like, hey, everything's approved. Like, I would like to get this scheduled. And they were like, okay, we can do this in 2 weeks. And I was like, whoa. That was not quite fitting into like my family's timeline of what would actually work for us. So I scheduled it for March 2nd. And so that means that on February 16th, 2022, I started my pre-op diet. So I started that yesterday. And I'm going to do another video where I talk kind of more specifically about my pre-op diet, like what the requirements are, how it's going. But I just kind of wanted to give the background about what kind of led me to decide to do the surgery and what the process was like um, as I decided to get it done and get the insurance to pre-authorize the service. So overall, like, I'm feeling excited. I'm not like super nervous. I know there are things that like could go wrong or things that could be like um, I don't know, could make things like recovery a little bit more difficult. But I think overall, in terms of like the safety and the risk level of the procedure, I'm not really worried about it. Um, I definitely had some of that feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I'm not going to be able to eat like normal food again or for a while. Well, I know my eating will never be the same again, which is a good thing. But it's definitely like a feeling of almost like loss in a way because there's not going to be that. I mean, everybody indulges in food, right? As like celebration, coping, whatever, to some extent. Obviously, mine might have been too much, but I'm not going to be able to do that, right? I'm going to have to focus on other ways of doing that and just really increase my ability to do those things in other ways. Um, and so that's kind of the only thing that I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I ready for this? Um, but yeah, I'm really excited, and I will talk to you next time about the pre op diet.